Hi everyone. So my name is David Head, and this is DesignLive. DesignLive is the fastest way to get help with any of these web applications. We're a marketplace where you can hire an expert on demand to work live via screenshare and knock out any of your tasks. Jeez. So say this is you. You might be a blogger, you might be a musician, or you might be an entrepreneur. You have all of these web applications at your disposal to empower you to be successful online. So let's take Squarespace, for instance. You're building out your site. It's a do-it-yourself platform. It's really easy. You sink a dozen hours into it or so. You're about to launch. What happens? Typically, your site doesn't look as professional as you want it. You can't go all the way. You just need an hour or two of help, and you're feeling kind of like this. So the tools that are supposed to empower your success are actually now hurdles within themselves. So you go out looking for a freelancer on one of these websites. You just need an hour or two of help. It should be pretty easy. But you're presented with a process that looks like this. It's a complete fiasco, and it takes hours within itself to accomplish. We have a much better way to go about this. It's called DesignLive. So if working on Squarespace on your own is do it yourself, and hiring someone to do it for you is do it for you, then DesignLive is do it together. So I'm going to illustrate what it's like if you're working on Squarespace. So you go to our website, go to the Squarespace section, tell us what you need really quickly, what your issue is, and then we're going to match you up with the perfect expert for you within minutes. Then you can see their profile, a little short bio, some skills. In the case of Squarespace, you'll see some portfolio pieces to judge their work, past review from clients, and then, of course, their calendars synced right in here live to our system so that you can book increments of 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, or whatever you need to get your job done. And you can see you can book it as soon as today. So next you're going to see an actual session between a client and an expert. So in this instance, our client Rod in Australia is working on a site for his wife. He couldn't get it to look professional enough, and Ula, our designer, is at the control right now. She's designing the website, and Rod is giving her active feedback on what he likes and doesn't like. And this process enables an incredible amount of time to be saved. Because you see, Squarespace is such a fast tool that most of the time that you're paying for when you hire freelancers is actually the communication back and forth. It's the emailing. So Rod here is saving about 3 to 5 times as much money because he's working via screenshare with Ula. He's also getting immediate help. There's no emailing back and forth. He just books the session. And then he's also improving his Squarespace skill because he's seeing a pro use the tool. So this reduces his dependency on Ula in the long term, saving him more money. So how does DesignLive make money? What kind of business model do we have? It's called a marketplace business model, and you may be familiar with this. It's like an Airbnb or an Uber. Evenmore has the same type of business model. It's a very popular business model. So my emoji's got a little messed up here, but it's characterized by 2 user groups. You have your consumers and your producers. In our case, our consumers are the clients, what we call them, and the producers are the experts. So we build out technology in the middle to facilitate interactions between the 2 user groups. In this case, connecting them on screen shares to knock out tasks on web applications. So sessions cost anywhere from $50 to $150 an hour and can be booked with 15-minute increments, 30-minute increments, an hour, 2 hours. And DesignLive makes money by taking a transaction fee from each session, what we call it. So we have 14 experts in our community right now, and they're currently serving over 300 clients across the globe. Last year, our whole platform was built around Squarespace because it was our pilot web app. We did just about 900 hours, and it was our pilot web app because it's representative of every other web app out there, and there's hundreds. They're built as a do-it-yourself piece of software, yet they have this whole professional community that ends up doing most of the work for clients on it. So by the middle of this year, we're going to do just shy of 5,000 hours because we're going to expand to over a dozen more web applications. And the team behind this is myself, David Head. I graduated from Belmont here in town. I'm in charge of growth. So driving people to our website, making sure the right people know about DesignLive. Alex Tapper graduated from Vanderbilt. He's in charge of our community, essentially make sure that everyone's happy. Andrew King, also a graduate of Vanderbilt, he's building out the technology that we're using that enables the three of us to connect thousands of people at scale. So our mission together is to empower people to create online. We think it can be a lot easier to create, but these web applications, even though they're supposed to be do-it-yourself, you just need a little bit more help. We're trying to enable people to do that. So if you're a blogger who's trying to share your words with the world, a musician trying to make it big, or e-commerce entrepreneur trying to launch a national brand, our goal is to connect, our goal is to bridge the gap between your current ability and your ambition. So if you need help on any of these web applications out there, come to our website, try us out. We have a coupon code right here, free 15 minutes to start, simply Verge. Easy to remember. So my name's David Head, and this is DesignLive.
How are you guys marketing yourselves? How are you guys reaching your clients?
Sure. So we reach about 80 to 85% of our clients through search engine optimization. Agencies are not as hard to compete with, given that we can just focus a lot more on it and sort of outcompete them. So that's actually extremely powerful at this stage. It's also through like Squarespace, for example, has an actual page on their website that shows all of kind of like certified experts per se. And no expert wants to engage in a project that's really under 20 hours or so. So the fact that we say, hey, you can book 15 minutes means that we're sort of the purple cow and we're going to stand out pretty easily. So marketing actually hasn't been our biggest issue at this point, surprisingly, but it probably will be at some point. Yeah.
What is your biggest issue at this point?
Yeah, so it's been technology. If you saw the graph for Squarespace, you saw that we had some rapid growth and it kind of curved off, and that's because we didn't have Andrew on the team at that point yet. So we basically were working by just sticking together third-party tools like other web applications to scale, rather than building out on a real code base.
What's the rate of return? Like, how often are people coming back and booking again? Is it like, all right, I'm done after one, I don't like it, and then I come back, or are people coming back at a high percentage?
Sure, yeah. I mean, typically people, since we're only on Squarespace right now, it's not as frequent that they return, but that's not because they have a bad time, it's because their problem solved and their website's launched. Yeah. We'll have people come back after about 3 months or so, and then they'll have some issue that they need, and it's kind of like just whenever you run into an issue, we're there. But as we expand to all these other services, we think that we can be something where you're almost like augmenting a fraction of yourself, if that makes any sense. So booking pretty frequently.
Does this work now? There we go. All the companies that you mentioned in terms of the marketplace and kind of your business model with Uber were really based upon kind of the viralness of the product. And we asked about the marketing and the return side. I think that customer churn is going to be a really big. So what's kind of your strategy around that to replace those customers that aren't coming back but get out there besides just SEO? Is there a strategy around that?
So like if our customers are falling off?
Well, your customers are coming and booking 15, 20, 30 minutes and getting their problem solved, right? And then they might come back, they might not come back. You're hoping that you teach them and educate them so they don't have to, right? Yeah. So you're losing your customers every time you serve a customer. So what's the strategy around the viralness of your product? Because I love the technology, I love the idea. I think it's going to be, a customer acquisition question.
Yeah. So at this point, we're definitely cannibalizing ourselves by showing these people under the hood, so to speak, and the whole model is teach a man to fish. We focus on solving their problem more than teaching them. It's one thing we learned that actually we thought the opposite at first. But it's kind of one of those things that is, if we're helping them to grow their business or accomplish their project, there's always a next hurdle. And these web applications are becoming more and more prevalent. So we're operating under the theory that if we're like the go-to web application, essentially the support layer for the web, then there's always going to be a next problem. And if we're helping people in the right way, even though we're cannibalizing ourselves, teaching them to fish, there's still always going to be a new market. Maybe that's untrue and naive, but that's our assumption.
I mean, the most expensive thing in businesses, of growing a business, is acquiring a new customer. And so I think what he's hit on too is like really important. And how can you increase the return rate? And then what's like your email funnel and your Facebook funnel and your retargeting? I mean, I like the services. There's times my team might use it. I wouldn't use it because I hate doing the stuff. I'm not good at that stuff. Yeah, I delegate. I'll bang my head against the wall trying to update a website. But I think maybe also a thought on the business model, so you have ongoing revenue and it keeps your customer audience engaged once you've acquired them. What if you had hey, for $10 a month, you get a little bit of a discount for future engagement, and you're starting to add, what are the other value adds? What are the training, email, blog trainings or video trainings that you can provide that keep them engaged, or partner with, Udemy and stuff like that to offer individual courses that you promote and get an affiliate sale, or, there's a lot. I'd say a recurring revenue for this one might be you've got a great idea now if you can build in many recurring revenues that give them a benefit and a discount that keep them engaged.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that we have on the list to experiment with, and it's something that we're definitely gonna have to figure out.
Who's your next hire?
So, fortunately, the three of us can get up to this scale completely, and it's likely a customer service person who can help offload some of the weight from Alex. Either that or someone to code on Ruby on Rails. And then the next big hire would be a data scientist, because we have a really unique opportunity here to use the data that comes in on the task level and tell people exactly how much something's going to take and how long it's going to take for long tail queries for every single platform, which could change freelancing entirely if we could pull that off.
Do you?
What's your timeline for expansion into other applications?
Within the next 6 months, we will be at least on a dozen more.
Nice work, David. Want more secrets from inside the minds of entrepreneurs and innovators around the world? Subscribe to our YouTube channel here and click the link below. We'll send you our best interviews and strategies for growing your business.